Namaste. It's Jacci. We're back again. We're going to do a little yoga practice together today. So take a moment to get yourself set up. We have a yoga mat here on the floor. If you have one, set it out on the floor. Give yourself plenty of space where you can have arms to the side and arms up over your head. And if you don't have a yoga mat, it's okay. You can just lie on the floor. And then maybe something to pad your knees, a yoga block if you have one. And close the door of the room that you're in. Give yourself a little time. We'll be together for the next 30 or 40 minutes and take a little time to care for the body. So we're going to begin our practice today lying down on our back. So this is a good way to start to settle, to start to turn your attention away from the external, from the concerns and to-dos. So come onto your back and lie down. Get your back comfortable, your shoulders comfortable. You can take a moment to stretch your arms, lifting them up over your head just to make sure you have space and a little stretching breaths. And then you can bring your arms down and gently draw the knees toward your chest, maybe one leg at a time. And move your ankles. Let's do some joint rotations. So ankles and wrists. And then change the direction of the circles. This is nice, of course, for the joints, but it's also soothing for the brain. So do some joint rotations now and then. And then we're just going to think about our legs a little bit. So just let one leg reach up toward the ceiling. And when you bend that knee, then lift the other one. Just alternate, noticing your knees, noticing the sensations in the backs of the legs. And just lifting your heels up pretty much right over your hip rather than drawing the foot really close to your face. Just that right angle of your heel over your hip. And as you continue, start to lift the opposite arm up toward the ceiling. And as you bend the knee, bend the elbow. And then lift opposite arm. You can spread the toes and fingers, and then as the knee bends, the elbow bends. And we'll wake up our shoulders and our arms a little bit. So opposite hand and foot, reaching up, spreading the toes and fingers, and then bending the knees and the elbows together. And after this one, we'll lift both legs and both arms together. So reach your hands up, reach your feet up, spread your fingers, spread your toes. You might feel your shoulders lift up a little bit. And then bend the knees, bend your elbows, let the shoulders drop back down. And a couple more like that. Reaching up on the in-breath, bending the knees, bending the elbows on the exhale. And another one. Inhale. And bend. And then let your feet come down to the floor. We'll let the legs rest for a moment. So have the knees bent, and for some people it's nice to have the feet a little bit wider. Also having the knees touch can also be comfortable. And then let your hands wrap around your shoulders, give yourself a nice hug, and rock here, noticing your upper back, your shoulder blades. Give yourself a massage and a hug. You can pat yourself on the back. Say, I love you. Good job. And then switch the way you're crossing your arms. Say some other kind things to yourself and massage your back a little bit. And then let your arms come down and rest your hands on your belly. And just glance around the space. Let your eyes move up and down, side to side. And then either choose one spot to let your eyes rest or close your eyes for a moment. So we're beginning to bring our attention and our energy here into the body, into this moment. And we've done some movement here, and we've begun to think about our breath. We want to turn away from all the concerns and to-dos of the external. And we want to be more inward during our yoga practice. We're turning our attention inward, and we're taking this time for ourselves, not only to care for our body, but to nurture the mind, the spirit. So taking a moment to settle. You might even take a moment to think about an intention or something you want to focus on. I like something like kindness or compassion, self-compassion. And then let your eyes blink open and your hands come down beside your body. And this inhale, let your arms go all the way up over your head, way back to the floor behind you. And then exhale, bring your arms all the way down, pull your belly in here. And do that a couple more times. Inhale, what are you noticing about your shoulders and the sides as you reach up? And then exhale down. Let's do one more repetition. So we're trying to think about coordinating the movement with the breathing. And we're trying to breathe slowly and move slowly. These things are soothing for the brain, soothing for the central nervous system. Please draw your knees up into your chest. And like we did a moment ago, we're going to inhale the legs up toward the ceiling and flex the feet and spread the toes. And then bend the knees. If it's nicer for you to have the feet a little wide, feel free to widen your feet. Add your arms this time. Let your legs and arms go up. Bend the knees, lower your arms. And again, legs up, arms up. And exhale down. And then let your feet come down to the floor. Let your knees stay bent and keep your heels right in line with your hips. So the knees and heels and hips are all in a line. And we're going to do the bridge pose a few repetitions. So take your hands, palms down by your sides. Take an in-breath here and feel your chest expand. And on the exhale, hug your belly in. You might think about your low back or your back ribs lowering to the floor. And then as you inhale, lift your hips up. Doesn't have to be too high. Just go where it's comfortable for you. And then let the exhale bring you down. Feel your spine just rolling down onto the floor and pull your belly in as you touch the floor. And inhale, lift. And exhale down. And inhale, lift. And exhale down. And then we'll just go up and stay in the pose for a few breaths. So inhale, lift, and it doesn't matter how high you go. Please keep your neck even. Look up toward the ceiling. Don't turn your head. As you hold on the exhale, hug your belly in. And feel your chest lift a little on the in-breath. Holding on the exhale. It's fine if you need to come down. Come down on an exhale. And if you haven't already, come down on your next exhale, down nice and smooth. No rushing. And then draw your knees back up into your chest. Massage your back a little bit by rocking. And then we're going to roll over to the side and come to hands and knees. So mindfully, roll to your side. Use your hands to push yourself up. And then when we come onto hands and knees, you may enjoy patting your knees a little bit. So I have a blanket here. Get what you need so that you can be comfortable. And we'll come to tabletop position. So when we're coming to hands and knees, stacking up the joints so the shoulders are over the wrist and the hips are over the knees. Thinking about the breath here, inhale, lift your chest and your eyes. And on the exhale, as the belly draws in, fold back to child's pose, letting the elbows touch and the head bow. And then rising, gliding back up on the in-breath, lifting the chest and the eyes. So slowly back. Exhale, belly in. And slowly up. Inhale. Do that again. Exhale back. And then this time as you come up, pick up your right leg, and we'll just stick it, straighten it back there and hold it up in the air a little bit. Circle your ankle. And then put the toes of that foot down on the floor. Let the heel push back so you get a little stretch in that calf. And then on the in-breath, just thinking about where your hip is. On the inhale, let your heel lift, your foot lift up so the heel is about the height of your hip. And you're not rolling the hip up. And then exhale, put your toes back down. Now, keep your foot on the floor and inhale your left arm forward. Hold on the exhale, and then on the inhale, lengthen that left arm and let your right foot lift up again, maybe the height of your hip. And what we're going to do on the exhale is touch the toes back down and lower your left hand down a little, or maybe it touches the floor. And there's a little rounding in the back here. And then inhale, lengthen through the heel, lift your leg. You feel that little arch in your back. Keep your hip level. 2 more. Exhale, belly in, touch down, hand and foot. And then lengthen back out on the in-breath. 1 more. Exhale. And lengthen on the inhale. And then you can put your hand and your knee down, fold back to child's pose. Give your right wrist a little shake if it's helpful. Inhale up to tabletop. We'll take 1 trip back to child's pose again, just a little symmetrical stretch for the spine. And then inhale up and take your left leg back, circle your ankle bit, and then put the toes down on the floor and push your heel back so you get that stretch. And then thinking about your hip and that whole left side, on your inhale, lift your left foot so that the heel is about the height of your hip. And you could lift your chest a little here. And as you touch the toes down, pull your belly in. While your foot's on the floor, inhale your right arm forward. Hold on the exhale, pull your belly in, and on the in-breath, lengthen the arm and lift your left foot back up, about the height of your hip. And on the exhale, we're going to slowly touch the toes down and lower the right hand down a little, or maybe it touches the floor. And then lengthen back out. We're going to do 2 more, and maybe your hand and foot can touch right at the same time. So you can see your hand, but you can't see your foot. Inhale. Exhale, pull the belly in as you lower slowly. Inhale, lengthen back out. And then everything down on the exhale, lower your knee. Fold back to child's pose and shake your left wrist if you need to. And then inhale up to tabletop. And exhale back to child's pose. So inhale up to tabletop, and we're going to push up to stand on the knees here. You're welcome to add extra padding, and if you like, you can tuck the toes under, see what's comfortable for you. And like we did lying on our back, we're going to inhale the arms up over the head, lift your chest, eyes. You can do like a little more of a back bend here. Exhale down. See how that feels for your body today. Inhale, hands up, eyes up. Exhale down. We'll just do 1 more at this point. And big reaching in-breath. So again, we're moving slowly. Big inhale to lift, and then a slow exhale to come down. So we take the whole exhale to lower the hands down. And then bring your hands back down to the mat. And we're going to push up to downward facing dog pose to stretch out the back side of the body a little bit. So if you lift your hips up, pushing down through the hands, you might start with a little bend in your knees, then really think about lengthening through the spine. And then you can pedal out your legs a bit. See what you feel. Be curious about your body and be kind. Maybe you chose that intention of kindness. So we did that movement, tabletop to child's pose a few times. We're going to do down dog to tabletop a few times. So please inhale, slowly lower both knees down to the floor and lift your chest and eyes. Hug your belly in and exhale back to down dog. And we'll do that a couple of times. So slow inhale with great control, just letting the knees touch right at the same time. Lift your chest and your eyes. And then pull your belly in with great control. Push back up. And 1 more time like that. Inhale to your knees. And exhale, downward facing dog. And then inhale to your knees. For a moment, you can put your elbows down, maybe give your wrists a little rest and circle the wrists and let your hips sway. So when we come back up, we're going to do a sequence. We're going to combine our tabletop, down dog, child's pose. And that movement where we were standing on our knees, this one where we lift the arms up, is called lightning pose or Vajrasana. So if you please come to all fours, and I'll guide you through the sequence. We're going to do it a couple times. So inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, belly in, fold back to child's pose. Inhale to tabletop. Lift your chest, tuck your toes under, and exhale, push slowly to downward facing dog. Slow inhale, back down to your knees, tabletop, lift your chest. Now exhale back to child's pose, and on the in-breath we're going up to lightning pose. So reach your arms up, lift your chest, come all the way up, lift your hands to the sky, lift your eyes, and then on the exhale, as smoothly as you can, all the way back down to child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, down dog. Inhale slowly back down to tabletop. Exhale back to child's pose. And on the inhale, reach the arms, lift the chest, come all the way up, Vajrasana. Exhale all the way down, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. All fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to your knees, tabletop position. Exhale back to child's pose. And again, up to the sky. Inhale, Vajrasana. Exhale all the way down to child's pose. And if you like, you can stay in child's pose. So you might put some support under your forehead or widen the knees and rock. The other option is to come back up to tabletop, push up to downward facing dog, and hold dog pose for a few breaths. So either one, child's pose or downward dog. Or if you come to dog pose, maybe you like it for a few breaths, and then you come down to rest in child's pose. So from wherever you are, begin on an inhale to push up, and we're going to come to standing. So if you're in downward dog, you can just walk your feet in. If you're in child's pose, push up to standing. Slide that padding out of the way if you had something under your knees, and come up to stand on your feet. And give yourself a little shake. Just get oriented to standing on your feet, and we'll swing a little bit. So if you take your feet out about shoulder width apart, we're going to let the arms swing and the head turn and the eyes turn. Let your hands wrap around and tap your back. This gives us a little stimulation on the kidney meridian, which is nice for the immune system. And then come to the center and stand nice and tall in Tadasana, the mountain pose. So lining up your joints. Perhaps as you lift the chest, you roll the palms open. This is a nice way to open up the chest, even the front of the throat. Soften or close your eyes, and again, notice how you feel. Sensations in your body, awareness of your breath. And then please open your eyes, and we're going to let our mountain pose move. So on the in-breath, we're going to come up with the arms, and as your arms float up over your head, let your heels lift up off of the floor. So you're going to be on your toes, and things should wiggle a little bit. And on the exhale, as you come down, slowly lowering the arms. See if your heels can touch when your hands touch your legs. So the heels don't have very far to go, so they're going quite slowly. So inhale, lift any amount. See where you feel, what you feel today. And then exhale down. Lowering the heels when the hands touch. So this time we're going to stay for one breath, and on the inhale we'll lift the hands and the heels up off the floor. And on the exhale, lower your heels halfway down and bend your elbows, pull your belly in, just cactus arms. And then inhale, back up. You might feel your legs shaking here, a little bit of balance. Exhale all the way down. Now if you're on a carpet, a thick or spongier mat, you may find it's a lot easier if you stand on a firmer surface. The floor is probably better than your mat even. Okay, so this time we're going to add a twist. So we'll do this one back up, and then when we do the second one, we'll turn, and we'll do that to each side. So we'll stay up for 3 breaths. So as you're ready, inhale, lift your arms and your heels. And on the exhale, belly in as slowly as you can, elbows halfway down. Feel your shoulder blades hugging together, and then inhale as slowly as you can, back up. And then with the turn, so exhale, let your heels, your upper body turn, your heels lower halfway down. And then inhale back to the center, slowly lifting.
And then exhale to the other side. Slowly as you can, back to the center, inhale. And then all the way down on the exhale. You might feel your legs shaking a little bit. Okay, and we'll do it again. And what we're going to start with is the twist to the opposite side, and we'll do 1, 2, and then the one to the center last. So please inhale up. It's always good to change it up. Good for your brain. So exhale, turn the opposite way first, heels halfway down, turn, maybe you turn your eyes, your head. Slow inhale back to the center, lifting up any amount. Your legs should be quivering. And then exhale, turn to the other side, navel in. Inhale to the center, lift, 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 lift. Exhale halfway down without the turn. Those are the last one. Inhale up. See if you can just pause a second or two at the top of the in-breath. Stay up just a little longer. And then when you're ready on the exhale, let yourself come down. And once you've come down, you can give your legs a little shake. Maybe wiggle your hips a little bit, wiggling and jiggling. Shake things off. So you may have noticed, like the lightning pose we did on the floor, that pose, there's a back bend, and you may feel that in your back muscles, which is nice to work those muscles. So to stretch them out a little bit, we're going to do the chair pose. So in this pose, we're going to keep the feet hip-width apart. I'm going to use my yoga block today. If you have one, it's a great tool to use for this pose to keep the joints lined up and help firm up the leg muscles. So if you put it in between your legs above your knees, it can go the shorter way if you have shorter legs. And I'm going to turn to the side here so that you can see my back. And feet hip-width apart. Starting with the hands on the hips, inhale, lift your chest. As you exhale, pull your belly in. We're going to sink down into our chair, sliding the hips back like you're going to sit down, sliding your hands down the sides or even the backs of your legs, and then inhale back up to standing. So depending on your hips and your knees, you can go down a little or you can go down a lot. Exhale, bend. But you want the hips back so you're not letting your knees go forward too much. Inhale. Okay. As you lower down on the exhale this time, let one arm go forward to the height of your shoulder. And then inhale, as you come back up to standing, lower that arm down. And then the second arm, whatever other side, do the other side. Reaching. Inhale. All right, now go back to the first arm and lift it higher if you can. How does that shoulder feel? Maybe lift your eyes. And then bend the knee, lower your arm. That block is slipping. Okay, and then inhale, sinking down. Other arm lifts up higher. And then inhale back up to standing, lower the arm. So this time we're going to lift both arms, but we're going to do different things with both arms. So as you exhale down, let your right arm go halfway up and your left arm go all the way up. And then as you come back up to standing, inhale, the top arm starts to lower. When they're parallel, let them come down together as you come back up to standing. And then switch arms. So right arm all the way up, left arm halfway up. As you begin the inhale, you start to rise. The top arm lowers. When they're even, bring them down together. And then depending on how your shoulders are feeling, you could go halfway up or all the way up with both arms. So as you exhale, sink down. Maybe your arms are halfway. Maybe you like cactus arms here, or you can lift them all the way up. Lift your eyes. Stay. Exhale. Inhale. Little lift of the chest. Using your abdomen on the exhale. If you're using the block, if you hug the block, that might help. One more inhale. One more exhale, and on this inhale, we'll stand up, and if you like, you can lift your arms all the way up, maybe leaning back a little bit, and then lower your arms. Take the block out. Give things a little shake, and you may notice that you feel a little bit more energized, a little bit warmer. All right, still with the feet hip-width apart, we're going to do a movement in the Warrior One position. So for this pose, if you have your feet under your joints, you might imagine that there's a couple of stripes on your mat, like the yellow stripes on the robe. Now we're going to step the right foot forward, so it's in line with the right hip or on the right stripe, and the left foot back, so it's in line with the left hip or on the left stripe. And take a test bend in the front knee. What we're going to do on the inhale is bend that knee. We want that knee pretty much right over the heel here. And on the exhale, you can extend the front leg and maybe touch your belly. Get that hugging in feeling in your abdomen. And then here's the movement. Inhale, bring your arms up as you bend your knee. Lift your chest, lift your eyes. And as slowly as you can, exhale, come out of the pose. And we'll do that 2 more times. So inhale, comfortable bend in your front knee, lengthen. Maybe you're more comfortable looking right ahead at the horizon rather than trying to lift your eyes. Exhale, or even looking at the floor if your balance feels a little off. And again, inhale. We're going to stay in the pose this time. And like we did on our tiptoes, on the exhale, soften your elbows down, cactus arms. Feel your shoulder blades hug together. You might even lean forward slightly. And then inhale, lengthen your arms back up. Maybe lift your eyes. Exhale. Hopefully you're feeling a little work in your legs. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And on this exhale, you can lower your arms down. Please step your feet together. Give your feet a little jiggle, a little wiggle jiggle. You can shake things. And then we'll turn and we'll do the other side. I'm just going to turn around so you'll be seeing my left side, but you don't have to turn around. So again, like you're standing on the stripes on the road, the left foot's going to go forward, comfortable amount. Right foot's going to go back so that we're keeping the feet in line with our hip joints rather than lining up the feet. We've found this is a little less strain on the back. So inhale, bend your front knee. You want that knee over your heel. You can adjust your feet if you like. On the exhale, as the front leg straightens, you can touch your belly. All right, here we go with the arm movement. So inhale, bend the knee, lift the arms forward and up. Wider arms may be nice. See what's good for you. Exhale, coming out of the pose, drawing the navel in. Inhale, lifting. Maybe you just like cactus arms. Exhale. So we'll hold this one. So bend the front knee a comfortable amount, come up into the pose, lifting your arms any amount, and exhale, cactus arms. Pull the navel in, hug your shoulder blades together. Maybe you're even, again, leaning forward slightly, and then inhale from that back heel, reaching up with the arms. Exhale. So 2 more breaths, any amount that you can breathe slower. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Without straining the breath, but breathing as slowly as you can, both in and out through the nose. And on this exhale, you can bring your arms down, step your feet together, give things a little jiggle. Come to standing. We're going to do one more thing where we're doing different movements. We've done quite a few things where we're doing movements with one side of the body, one arm and the opposite leg. So standing tall, this is going to be a little bit of a balance pose. We're going to stand on one foot. You're welcome to touch a wall or hold on to a chair or something if you like. Again, standing on a firmer surface may be helpful. So figure out which one is your right leg and your left hand. And as if there's a string attached from your hand to your knee, we're going to lift the foot and that arm up. And you can go up really high if you like, or you can come down and then just lower everything down, almost like you're controlling the lowering of your leg with your arm. And then switch sides. So left leg, right arm. And then down. So depending on your balance and your hips and knees and things, you might not lift very high. So you could go up just a little and just try to stay there, or you could go way up with your arm and lift your knee. And then everything in control, coming down like you're lowering your leg with your arm. And then again to the other side. Looking at the floor, pulling in your belly. You can even be gripping the toes of the standing foot. Those are helpful things for balance. Okay, and this next one we're going to hold with the right leg lifted. So inhale up. So you could be really close to the floor and touch your toes down, or you could lift quite high. You can hold on to that leg with your other hand if you want. And breathe. So with an exhale, come down. Good. And then we'll do the other side. So left leg lifts, and as if your right arm is lifting it up. And again, maybe this is where you stay. You just go up a little bit and you stay there. Maybe you're touching the wall or the floor. Maybe you're holding on to that leg. And still breathing slowly. So some lengthening on the in-breath. Using your navel on the exhale. Another breath. Inhale. If you're bored, close your eyes. That'll be interesting. And then coming down on your exhale. Again, with control. And then just give the two sides a little shake. You can shake your feet. You can jiggle. You can do that swinging movement again. That may feel nice. All right, for the last part, we're going to come back down to lie on our back. So come on back down to the floor. Take a moment to get yourself situated. And once you're down here, and your shoulders and your neck and your hips feel pretty comfortable, draw your knees into your chest and put your hands on your kneecaps. So we're going to let the fingers point down toward the toes. And this is a simple movement. It will help us to stretch out the low back a little bit and also to reconnect to the rhythm of the breath. So on the exhale, we're just letting the elbows bend so the knees draw towards your belly. It's fine if your knees are wide here. And on the inhale, you're just letting the knees rock away. All we're doing is straightening the arms. It's very simple. On the exhale, bend your elbows. So just thinking a little bit about your breath. You might even close your eyes. We'll do two more. So inhale, let the arms straighten. Exhale, so gentle stretch on your low back, little pressure on your belly. And mainly just an opportunity to notice your breath. And exhale. So inhale your feet to the floor. Find a position where your legs can rest. You might have the feet apart. You might have your knees touching, and rest your hands on your belly. And like we did at the beginning, just taking a moment to let your eyes scan the space. You can go up and down. It's also good for your eye muscles. And side to side. Helps you orient to the space that you're in and helps work your eye muscles. And then either choosing one spot to soften, to look at, or letting your eyes close. Begin to let go of the effort to breathe and just noticing the weight of your body. So you feel the weight of your head and the weight of your arms and shoulders and upper back. And maybe there's some softening there in your neck or shoulders or jaws that you could let go a little bit. And then feeling the weight of your legs and the hips settling. Just beginning to... Again, we're turning inward with our attention. So we're noticing the sensations, we're noticing our breath. And as we begin to move toward the relaxation part of our practice into Shavasana, take a moment to see how you can support your body. What's a comfortable position for you to rest? So that might be letting your legs just stretch out onto the floor and lie flat. And if that's comfortable for you, fine. For many people, that's not that comfortable. So you're welcome to keep the knees bent or to put your blanket, cushion, pillow under your knees. Just keeping a slight bend in the knees can be really helpful. Resting your legs up in a chair or up on a sofa, that can be super nice for the back. And you might enjoy keeping your hands on your body because it's comforting or warm. You might have your hands by your sides. Starting to get a little chilly, so if it's nice for you, you can put a cushion, a blanket over the top of you. Sometimes I like to put my blanket right on my hips because it feels grounding and warm. So letting yourself settle. We're going to take a couple of breaths. We're going to let out a little sigh. So as you take your next inhale, breathe a little deeper.
And then a big sigh. And again, inhale. And then a nice sigh. And just letting yourself come into this resting position. Letting go, any adjustment, softening, releasing you can do to be comfortable. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you be at ease. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy. May we all be at ease. May we all be at peace. I encourage you to stay in your resting pose for the next 5 minutes, even 10 minutes if you have it. If you feel it's hard for you to lie still, try 12 breaths. Try to stay for 12 breaths. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.